Welcome back to my booktube channel. Today I decided that since it was a Saturday and I didn't have to work at all, even though I have a ton of books to read, I had been wanting to make a book jar, specifically a to-be-read jar, for a while after seeing some people make some back in the spring, and today I decided to do it. I had to acquire a jar, which I have already labeled the Tibber jar, which is really cute because, well, it's kind of a joke. When I was visiting Rebecca in July, we had dinner with Amanda Nelson, and we made a joke about, like, yes, I have that book, it's totally on my Tibber. So I decided to call it the Tibber jar, T-I-B-B-E-R, and this did not come labeled. I made this label because I have a weird stash of, like, paper crafting paper. And I have cut up all sorts of colors of paper. I used about a 1/4 inch size paper strips. I can write pretty small, neatly, and I'm not going to obviously do all of those in one evening, but I have a paper cutter, so it was really easy for me. I had originally not been planning to buy a jar. I bought one at Michael's. I was just going to use a jar, but after I washed the peanut butter jar 3 times, it still smelled like peanut butter, and I just didn't really want that in my living room. So I have my trusty Sharpies and some coffee, and I'm going to go through and start writing some titles down and start throwing them in the Tibber jar. So it's now about 2 hours later, or so, I think. And I've only gotten through about, this is about maybe 2 bookshelves worth, but the jar's pretty full. I didn't put, like, if I have series books, like I have both In the Woods and The Likeness by Tana French. And In the Woods is the first book, which I actually have not finished because the first chapter freaked me out so much. I was reading it at night. I stopped there. And I would really, really like to finish it. So I put In the Woods in the jar. But I didn't put The Likeness in the jar because obviously if I pulled The Likeness out, I would just stick it back in there and chew. Well, first I had to cut the strips in half because the strips as I did them originally, they were too long. So I have lots of strips left over. So I can add titles to this later if I really wanted to. The thing I did was I did mostly novels. I threw maybe a couple essay collections in there, you know, some lighter nonfiction, because my major thing I buy is novels. And basically what happens is, like, all the books I have started, you know, all 40 some books that I have, you know, like, listed in my Goodreads currently reading that are half finished, and I say I'm super bored, and then I go to work that night at the bookstore and then I buy some more books and they go on my shelf and they just get covered up. So one of the things I'm trying to do lately is kind of rearrange how I spend money. And something I read somewhere was go shopping in your shelves. If you want more books or more music or, like, clothes even, you know, go shopping in your shelves. And so just this exercise of going through the fiction books that I have on my bookshelves, I have found, oh, I have this. Oh, I have this. Oh yeah, I bought that. So it's been kind of an adventure. So, I mean, and obviously I will not be keeping, and this isn't even like, Rebecca had us do a survey on Book Riot where we had to count up our books, or at least rough estimate our books, and then rough estimate how much we had not read. And I think it came in at about 50% of several thousand books in my house that I own, and that includes, like, physical and Nook books that I had not read yet, which is huge. That's a lot of money. So, and I know that I will not like and or keep every single one of these books that I have in my house that I have not read. So I just need to get them read and either yay, keep them, or off to the library book sales so somebody else might find it and enjoy it more than I did. So that is the goal with this book jar, which is really, it's really full. So you need to mix it up a little bit better, you know, so it's not obviously like the layers are from the different shelves. But the goal is that Gee, I'm bored. I think I need a new book. No, I don't. I have so many new books that I have not read yet. I will pick a book out of here. And, you know, that is my Tibber jar making video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Though it was a home football game Saturday and the Hawks were playing the in-state rivals, Hawkeyes lost.